Hello, my name is Khaldun Abu Haikal. Currently I reside in the United States of America in Minnesota. I've been living there for 18 and a half years of my life. Originally I come from Palestine, where I've lived almost half of my age. So I lived there for like 20 years. I'm a frequent traveler back and forth between both countries. On an average, I travel every 2 years to Palestine. There has been many changes throughout those 18 years that I traveled out of this country. Those changes, some of them positive, not many, mostly negative. I've traveled like 1 year before the starting of what's so-called the peace process. And I'm sorry, I put it in the words of so-called because unfortunately on the grounds I don't see effect of that peace process. I mean, I really wanted to see some changes towards, going forward in peace. I've just seen things going backwards on the local level, on the international level. I live currently in the United States. I'm a U.S. citizen, and I want to start talking about there. It's going to be from the perspective of talking about the differences that I've seen between there and here in Palestine. In the United States, there's that freedom for everyone. Everybody is equal. Everybody has the same rights. There is a system that controls people's life, and it's in a positive way. Unfortunately, when I come here, I see a whole different perspective. They're talking about human rights around the world, spreading the human rights. When I come here, I see these words don't mean nothing because we turn the eye on, and I'm talking as an American. Our government turns the eye on what the Israel is doing on the ground here with people. As an example, just yesterday I was trying to travel in an Israeli-controlled area, and they said that I had to go back, and I was asking why, and they said, you can't travel from here, you are not an Israeli. And I was like, well, I have seen some Americans walking by here, and they are from, I listened to they were saying they live in the United States, and they're from New York. He said, yeah, but they're Jews. You're not Jewish. So when I heard that word, it hit me. When I was in the United States all these years, I've been preached about everybody has the freedom of religion, freedom of speech. We can't racial profile people because of their ethnicity or their religion. And then I come here and it is that way. And guess what? It's the government that we called our ally in the Middle East, our main ally in the Middle East. They have these rules where if you're not Jewish, you have no rights in this country. You're not treated equal. You're not allowed to walk on the streets of the Palestinian land. By the way, just to give you a clarification, guys, this is in the West Bank, in the city of Hebron, where it's a Palestinian territory. It's a 1967 territory. It's not an Israeli land. It's not part of the state of Israel. This is in Palestine, where if you're not Jewish, you're not allowed to travel on the roads. And that incident hit me yesterday, thinking, why we're not saying nothing as an American, our government, America. How come they're not saying nothing about this? They don't come and ask the Israeli government, well, if you are claimed to be a democratic country and everybody's equal, don't the non-Jewish people have equal rights to walk on the street, as simple as walking on the street? If we can't answer that question, if we can't do such a thing, how could America be a fair mediator between the Israelis and the Palestinians? So this is an observation I had, and it's just an example for what I've seen. Add to this, and I'm going to start with my families, and what I mean by families, the close families, the circle, my mom, my brothers, sisters, my uncles, and then I'll go probably to the surrounding neighborhood, just to give an examples for what I've seen. Those people reside under curfew sometimes, for no reason, just because there are some settlers, Israeli settlers, come to the area, and they don't like to see Arabs walking in the street, so people go in their house, and they're not allowed to leave their house until those settlers, whenever they decide to leave, because simply they get offended from seeing Arabs, so they don't want people around them to walk. And guess what? Then the soldiers step in, and the Arabs are not supposed to travel or to leave their house. When I've seen these things, and these are actual things, by the way, I'm not making up these stories. It's actual things on the ground. And I know when you guys listen to this, you'll be like, is that true? Does this exist now? The apartheid in South Africa is done. It's over. Yeah, it's in South Africa over, but not in Palestine. I mean, seeing these things here, it shows that it's the only occupation in the world where the Western countries turn the eye on it, or don't even look about these practices. Why? I don't understand. One day I hope I could get an answer for this, and a good answer. Because so far I've asked many American politicians, and they all give me this nonsense answers. Furthermore, the trip of going to my family's house from the market, I probably should even put that on YouTube so people could see the road that they're walking in. It's a road where there's like no pavement. It's rocky. It's through a little mountain that you have to climb, hills, just simply because they're not allowed to go on the main road that goes through to their house, because there are Israeli settlers on the way where they don't want to see Arabs driving by there or walking by there. So they ban them from walking there or going through that road, and then they ask them to go through around, where, as I told you, it's rocky, it's dusty, it's really not designed for human walking. If you're a hiker, you might enjoy that. I don't think other than hikers would enjoy that road. So this is just another example of what the Palestinians going through here. I'm not shifting subject, but just to give this another direction. They're talking about we have to have an open market, and economically we have to develop Palestinian land and territory. I have some questions about this, and maybe all my observations can be with questions, because I could probably, if I get clarifications, I could have a better picture about what's going on here. How could you have an open market where you don't have control of your borders, where you don't have controls of your roads, where you have no control over your water, over your space, over the trade with others? You could be cut off at any time, just simply because the Israeli government is mad at you, simply because the Israeli soldiers decide to step in and block the roads this day for no reason. No, they have many reasons that doesn't make sense, but no reason for it really. How could you have an open market? How could you build an economy? Without economy, you're not going to have peace. Without good, solid economy for the Palestinians, you're not going to have peace. How could you have that peace without this? How could you have an open market and a free market without having control